Right, okay, let's get stuck into this investigation. So, paper 6 starts here. Ooh. And let's just read through what it says. Some identical small cubes fit together to make larger cubes. There are no gaps between small cubes. For each cube that is made, a cross is marked on each outside face of each small cube. Okay, so the scene's set nicely, we've got a good diagram to go with it. So this investigation is about the number of crosses marked on cubes. Look at the 1x1 cube. It is made from one small cube. It has 6 crosses on it. Okay, so that's reiterating the point that it's got 6 faces. 3 crosses on the face are not seen. Yep, that makes sense looking at it. Look at the 2x2 cube. How many small cubes is this cube made from? Well, we can work that out. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I don't want the highlighter for that for my answer. Let's undo that. 8. Explain why there are only 3 crosses on each small cube. So for this I might write something like that 3 faces are hidden. Or they're against other cubes. Find the total number of, next question, find the total number of crosses on the 2x2 grid. We can work that out. So there's 6 faces, we know that, 6 faces, and each face we can see has 4. So I need to do 6 times 4. And that gives me 24. Okay, first page well underway. So, second, look at the 3x3 cube. A little bit tricky on this, but I'll tell you what I can do. If I do this, I can just see it on the edge of the screen. How many small cubes is this made up from? That's fine, I can work that out. How many small cubes? Well, instead of the crosses, now it's asking us for the cubes themselves. Oops. So, well, it's 3x3x3, so it ends up with a total of 27. And you might be seeing this in different ways, 3 layers of 9 or something. How many of these small cubes have 3 crosses on them? Well, those are the ones in the corner, aren't they? So here, here, and I'm not sure if no, it's not going to work. Because that's my kind of thing. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corners. So that's going to have to be 8. There are 12 small cubes with 2 crosses on them. There is 1 small cube with no crosses on it. How many people have 1 cross on it? So that's going to be this one bang in the middle now. There's one of those. There's one of those on each of the 6 faces. So 1 times 6 gives us an answer of 6. Okay, complete this table. You may use the dotted grid on page 7 to help you. Oh, I think I might just do that. So, well, hang on. What can we do first of all? We can start filling out some of this. So if I look back at the previous page, what have I got? I've got total number of small cubes on the 2x2 grid. I've already worked that out, haven't I? That's 8. Just copy it across. How many have got 2 crosses on them? None. And how many have got 3 crosses? Oh, that's 8. Because all of them have got 3 crosses, that's the corner. I also worked out 8 as being this figure for the 3x3. What else did I do? How many cubes have 1 cross on them? I've already worked out as well, so that's going to have to be 6 in there. And the total number of cubes I worked out as well, so that's 27. Okay. We don't have a 4x4 or a 5x5, so maybe it's worth jumping to our page 7 in order to be able to do that. So let's have a look. Let's have some fun drawing some cubes. So I want to try and see if I can get a 4x4. So let's go into the corner here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to get there quite. Okay, there's my 4x4. And we can get a picture of what's happening by drawing on some crosses. And I'm not very neat at this, am I? Good job it's just workings. But there's my beautiful cube. Beautiful cube. Somewhere like that. Okay, it's still going to enable me to see what's happening. And let's draw a 5x5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just about to squeeze it on. It's quite therapeutic, this. Okay, I might draw on the extra crosses on that later, just when we need to use it. Let's go back and see what we're trying to actually establish here. So on the 4x4, what do I need? I need to work out. It tells me there are 8 with none. There's 24 with 1 crosses. How many have 2 crosses on them on my 4x4? Let's go and have a look. How many are going to have 2 crosses? Well, that's going to be. The way I might visualize this is think about the top layer as having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that includes these ones I'm just dotting in now. So there's going to be 8 at the top. Similarly, there's going to be 8 underneath, and then I'm going to have how many on this level? 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a second lot of 4 in the middle. So what have I got? 16, 24. Let's go back and fill this in. So I had 24 here. Now, how many have 3 crosses? Well, that looks pretty consistent across the board, so that's going to be another 8, and that's the ones in the 8 corners of my cube. The only one that I need to work out now, the total number of small cubes. This is following a nice pattern. 2 times 2 times 2 gives us, hang on, let's use another tool. 2 by 2 by 2 equals 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 74. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Which means 5 times 5 times 5, 125. And we need to work out the number of small cubes with 2 crosses in this large one. So back across again. I'm going to use a similar method. I'm going to see how many are on the top and bottom. So how many are on my top one? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and as I say, that includes these ones, because obviously it's the ones with 2 sides. So 12 on the top, 12 underneath, and so how many have I got? 1, 2, 3 in the middle, and how many have 2 attached to it? Well, I need to concentrate on the edge. So here, 1, 2, 3, and a 4 behind. Oh, that's quite consistent, isn't it, from what we had before? So 4 middle, and there's a 3rd layer in the middle, which means I've got 12, 24, 28, 32, 36. Let's go back and fill that in. 36. Oh, need my pen. 36. Okay, 2 marks for that. Cool, we worked hard for those 2 marks. I should probably indicate actually now where the marks were previous to this. So 1 mark for that answer, 1 mark here, 1 mark here, and before that we've got another 3 sets of 1 marks. Okay, so we said, I just said this, to get this correct you got 2 marks. Let's say we worked quite hard for that, but there we are. Moving on. Okay, to work out the number of crosses on the 3 by 3 cube, complete the following. So there's 1 small cube with no crosses, giving us no crosses. Looking at this, giving us 6 crosses with 1, this is gonna have to be 6. 6 small cubes with 1 to give us 6 crosses. 12 small cubes with 2 gives us 24. And how many small cubes with 3 crosses? Well, we worked that out. How many small cubes with 3 crosses? Now I'm looking at the 3 by 3. We have 8 cubes with the 3 crosses. Whoa! And that was the same for all of them, so we can just fill it in. 8 small cubes with 3 crosses gives us another 24, which means we've got a total of 30 plus another 24, 54 crosses. Okay. Get that right, we get another mark. Okay, the total number of crosses can also be worked out in the following method. The total crosses on one face of a 3 by 3 by 3 cube. Well, on one face it's going to be 3 by 3, so the total number of crosses is going to be that, which is 3 times 3, which is 9. And so the total number of the 6 faces is going to be obviously 6 times 9, which is again 54. 1 mark for getting both of those. Find the number of crosses on a 4 by 4 by 4 cube. Okay, so it's leading us into this, so let's use the same method. So one side is 4 by 4, which is 16, and we need to do 6 lots of that, so 6 times 16 gives us an answer of 96, and we can check that on our GDC if we need to. 96 gives us another mark. We're racking them up now, and find an expression for n of the total number of crosses on an n by n by n cube. Now, I'm going to think about actually the process that I've gone through. It's led me into this idea of whatever n was, 4 by 4, I multiplied it by itself, and then I multiplied the answer by 6. And that's what it led me in on this one. So 3 by 3, whatever n is multiplied by itself to give this answer, and that answer then multiplies by that 6. So if I'm going to articulate that in terms of n, what have I done? I've multiplied 6 by n squared. And that's what we're looking for there. That's worth a mark. Okay. I'm going to try and stop making you feel seasick. As long as I just straighten out once. Close enough. Right. What have we got here? Number of small cubes with 0 crosses forms a sequence. Okay, so there were none here. 1 in a 3 by 3 by 3, 8, 27. Now I'm recognizing these numbers. These are my cube numbers. And so for an n by n by n cube, write an expression in terms of n for the number of small cubes with 0 crosses. Okay, now these are my cube numbers, but it's not quite as straightforward as 3 cubed, because 3 cubed doesn't give me 1, 3 cubed gives me 27. So we need to make some sort of shift. What I'm going to be thinking about actually, when I did 3 by 3 by 3, I wanted to actually do 1 cubed, which is n minus 2. Does that work? Let's just have a think. So for 3 by 3 by 3, first of all, we're going to do 3 take away 2, which is 1. So 1 cubed gives me 1 that I wanted. Does it work for 4? 4 take away 2 is 2, which I cubed to give me 8. Oh, I feel quite good about this. And just check it in my head for the last one. Yes, I think that's right. So I'm going to put that in as n minus 2 cubed. Okay. What's the next question asking us? For an n by n by n cube, an expression for the number of small cubes with one cross is 6 brackets n minus 2 all squared. I just tried to erase that, it's not working. Never mind. If an n by n cube can the number of small cubes with 0 crosses equal the number of small with 1 cross? Okay, so I need to use my formula for small cubes with 0 crosses and see if it can be equal to the number of cubes with 1 cross. Well, let's find out. So I'm going to just rely on my algebra now, and I'm going to use 6 lots of n minus 2 squared. That was given to me. And is it possible for that to equal my expression, which was n minus 2 cubed? And we need to try and solve this. Shove everything across to one side. N minus 2 cubed. Take away 6. N minus 2 squared. Factorize. N minus 2 squared would need to multiply with n minus 2 and minus 6. So what have we got? We've got two solutions here. N minus 2 squared would have to equal 0, and n minus 8 would have to equal 0. Square root both sides. I'm on this one. Square root both sides, and I get n minus 2 equals 0, n equals 2. And secondly, this one, n would equal 8. So the answer is yes, it's possible as well. And we've got for n is 2 and n is 8. And let's have a little look. N is 2. We're looking for the number of zeros and ones to be the same. And that's exactly what we can see here. The number of zeros and ones were the same. And so that has worked. So the number of zeros and ones were the same. Now we're there. God, we're close to the end now. Absolutely flying through. So for an n by n cube, find an expression in terms of n for the number of small cubes with 2 crosses. Okay, so we're going to have to look at the data that we've got here. So I'm looking for ones with 2 crosses. Let's go back to my table. So I'm interested in these. 0, 12, 24, and 36. I'm going to write it out now. 0, 12, 24, and 36. Now, clearly it's some form of the 12 times table, but we're interested in what the side length of the cube was. So I need to make sure I get that. So alongside this, the 0, 12, the 0, 12, 24, and 36, I need this number. This indicates n being the side length. So I want 2 to be next to my 0, 3 next to my 12, 4 next to my 24, and 5 next to my 36. And that's what I'm going to write in next. So I need, I'm going a different colour, this to be a 2 by 2 square to give me 12, to give me 0, 3 to give me 12, 4 gives me 24, and 5 gives me 36. Now, we know just from finding the nth term, it's going to be some kind of, our final answer is going to be some kind of 12n, but we're going to have to clearly do a subtraction to get down there. Now, if we plugged in 2, for instance, 12 times 2 is 24, we'd have to take away 24 to get down to the 0 that we want to correspond with that 2, this 0. Let's check that it works. So 12 times 3, 36. If I take that away from 24, then I should get this 12. So yeah, I feel quite confident in that. I could factorize it. In fact, I just might. So that equals 12 lots of n minus 2. Didn't mean to do that. I was just going to move that across. Put our answers over there. Okay. Underline X, my answer. Right. Question 8. In an n by n cube, there are 64 small cubes that have 0 crosses on them. So we're going to have to use our formula here. So we're interested in those that have 0 crosses. So let's head across. And those with 0 crosses, that's this one. So I need to use n minus 2 cubed. Back we go. So we want n minus 2 cubed equals 64. Cube root both sides, n minus 2 equals 4, n equals 6. How many small cubes does it have altogether? Now if n is the side length 6, we need to do 6 cubed to find out how many small cubes it has altogether, which comes out as 216. In another n by n cube, there are 60 small cubes with 2 crosses. Okay. How many small cubes have only 1 cross on them? Okay, so quite a convoluted question, but let's go back again. And we're interested in, small cubes with 2 crosses on them. So that was 1 cross. Did we just find that? Yeah, 2 crosses is the one we just worked out. That was this. So we need to use that one to work out what it is. So 12 lots of n minus 2 should equal 60. And if I divide by 12, I'm left with n minus 2. I don't need that bracket, do I? It is working. There we are. N minus 2 to equal, what did I do? I divided by 12 to give me 5, and equals 7. But that's not the end of it, because actually the question's asking how many small cubes have 1 cross on them. Now for 1 cross, we're using this formula again. 6n minus 2 all squared. 6n minus 2 squared. So let's write that out. At n is 7. So we're going to do 6 lots of 7 minus 2 squared, which is 6 times 5 squared, 25, which is 150. Okay, I forgot to indicate the marks as we went through, so let's just take care of that now. Where are we? Where did I last give some marks here? So at question 5, n minus 2 cubed, that's worth a good 2 marks. That's a treat. The yes and the n is 8 is worth 1 mark. Seems a little bit mean, that, doesn't it? The next thing is the 12 brackets n minus 2. Pleased with that, that's worth a mark. My 216 is worth a mark, and my 150 is worth 2 marks. Now there's a further mark for communication, and that's communication we're looking particularly in 4C, 4D, 5, 7, 8A or 8B. So this is quite subjective, but we're looking to communicate what we've done quite clearly in terms of n, side lengths or whatever it is, so that extra mark is there. And that then gives us all of our marks for this part of the paper. And there are 20 raw marks available for this one. I don't know where it's going to come around to. There we are. So a mark out of 19 in terms of the answers, and then the 20th mark is for your communication. So we're looking out at 20 here.